Welcome back, friends. As you can see from our presentation here, we're going to talk about an important topic for those of us not only just in Park City, but certainly has some application here in Park City, very much so, with so many vacation homes in the area. We're going to get a little bit of a lesson in trash versus recycle. There is going to be someone who's going to be put on the hot spot during this segment, and I'm going to let you take a wild guess who that will be. I'm excited this morning to be joined the good folks from Republic Services. Reece DeMille, good morning. Brenda Upright, so lovely to see you again. An old friend. It's always so great to have folks in the studio. Reece, nice to see you. Thank you for coming, you guys. Let's talk trash.
Okay, well, the first thing we want to do, and we get this question all the time, is I can't figure out, does it go into my trash bin or does it go in my bigger brown recycle bin? And so we're going to put you on the spot a little bit if we can.
All right, sir.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. First of all, we'll start easy here, and we'll go with a simple box that's some protein bars came in.
And I'm going to go ahead and confidently classify this as recycling. And also, Reece, I'm going to thank you for flattening out your box, because that saves space. Of course, there is limited amounts of ability to put all of your stuff in. Breaking down your boxes helps.
Very good. You're one step ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay, soup can.
Soup can. That's a tough one. So I go, this is tin, and I think most metals are recyclable. Part of the processing is that you put a lot of different materials through one particular processing process.
Yeah.
I'm going recycling.
That is correct.
Yes.
And Terry, you don't have to take the label off of that can, just like you did.
Because the paper itself is recyclable as well.
That's right. That's
Gotcha.
right. Well,
And let's just clarify right now, first of all, this is what current information is. So a lot of this is variable. This can change, but as of today, as of right now, this is the latest information.
That's a really good point, and you guys are, I have to say, you guys are great about communicating. I see, you know, the schedules come by. In my case, because I live on Woodside, I've got a post office box, so it doesn't come to the house, but I see that information, and maybe it's kind of a good thing that I go through everything in the post office, so I see the schedule and updates, and you guys do a great job with that for sure.
Yeah, we certainly try.
good. Okay. So along with that can, we've got a peanut butter jar, and it's plastic.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
so
I suppose the question that I would have is, depending on how much material, in this case it's peanut butter, but how much material is inside is something that I would question. Of course, it's plastic, so that part, and as you say, the label is paper, both recyclable items. I want to say recycle.
You are correct.
I am correct.
And you are correct with the way it is spooned out. You don't need to wash out a can.
Okay, good.
You don't need
Great.
to wash it out. Get your hot water going. You just spatula the peanut butter out the very best that you can. Make sure that there's not, you know, ½ inch at the bottom. Okay. Spatula it out. Toss it in your recycle bin.
And if you were a human like me who would not be alive today if it weren't for peanut butter, it would be considered a crime to leave this much peanut butter.
That's all right.
However, in the interest of live television, we're recycling.
All right, very good. So now we've got a cup. Just your basic Dixie cup.
I'm going to go recycle. The one question I would have is that I know that there's some sort of a wax coating on this otherwise paper cup. I'm still going to go recycle.
Because of that wax, and you were right on, that is
The wax
when
is
in
the
doubt,
thing.
throw it out. And we put that in the garbage.
Interesting.
So same with like almond milk, soy milk. Those are a lot of, those boxes are typically a wax coating, so those are all trash.
And that's a heavy coating too. So when you think about it in terms of, this is kind of how I try to make sense of it during a pop quiz, for example, is that that coating is something that could mess up the machine that is designed to process paper, not designed to process wax that can probably gum up the works. And I'm a dork. This is the way I think.
We call those Tetra Paks. Those are Tetra Paks, and like those juice boxes that have that heavy wax coating on there. Those do not go into recycling. Those all go into.
And that's important to know, because more and more, and I certainly can see in my consumption patterns over the years, I'm drinking cashew milk, I'm drinking almond milk, and I don't really drink cow's milk anymore, which of course we're going to get to in a moment. But the packaging for all of these different types, soy milk, etc., is all
Even
in that.
Soup now comes in boxes.
That's true. That's true. Some of the best soup does, for sure.
Right.
So,
So, Terry, we got an old shirt. We got an old shirt, and a lot of people say this is, they can make something out of this. Absolutely. We know that these are made into, they're recycled into rags, they're recycled into other products. So, what do you think?
you've given me a nice sort of lead in, but I'm gonna say trash because of the properties of cotton fiber, and there's not enough of this material that would be recycled for it to be worthwhile.
Okay,
You can
that's a great point. It is recyclable, but
Yes.
not in your
Not with-
curbside recycle
not
bin.
with our system.
Okay, so I mean, if you took all of your clothing to a clothing, and there are drop-off since Tabitha's Way and others have these drop-off places.
Absolutely.
You can take them there, but it can't go in your curbside recycle bin. So you are correct, and that goes into the
Good to
trash.
know.
Or
All
set
right.
it aside and recycle somewhere.
Yeah. Yes. Donate.
Everybody, for the most part, drinks a soda once in a while, and so
Sure.
what about that one?
I think in this case, and if we can see that there's a little bit of liquid in there, that's going to be my sort of decision variable, which is that if it's got this liquid in it, then it's no. Obviously, it's easy enough to just pour out the liquid, but as it is, I'm going to guess no.
You're exactly right. As it is, cannot go in. It's got to go in the trash. Pour that out. You don't
Pour it
have to
out.
let it dry. Just pour it out,
We'll
and
save
then
that.
that can go in there.
For later.
Okay?
That's right, because we're not going to put it in
We
the
are-
trash
no.
just because of television. We're going to finish our recycling.
I'm going to pull
Okay,
that
we're going to
shirt
talk
out later.
about a big one.
All right, this is the big one, and I'm familiar with this. Like I say, because I live in Old Town, and I have to say, you guys do a great job, and yet there are still a lot of people, and it's simply because they're not paying attention. But glass is not recyclable here in Park City. Again, totally recyclable, just not with the process that
Not in your
we're
all-in-one.
adhering to.
Can take it to Recycle Utah, can take it to other locations, but not in your curbside recycle bin, so that's got to
And
go
the
in.
reason is because your curbside all-in-one goes on a conveyor belt, and if we have broken glass, it's going to damage the workers who are sorting everything.
Absolutely. And to me, this is the moment
It'll hurt
that's really great, because now we're understanding why these things are the way they are.
There's a reason for everything, believe me.
And I'm sure that you get people saying, "What? That's terrible. You don't recycle glass."
Well,
the
we
thing.
do
Not in
recycle
your-
glass. Again,
Right.
it's just got to go to
Yeah.
a specific
Right, they make that
recycle
assumption
bin.
based on the fact that
Right.
if it doesn't go in their curbside,
Yeah.
right.
Correct.
Absolutely.
So this is side
All
two.
right.
So that would go into trash. Okay, cereal box.
Well, separate materials. I'm going to go recyclable again. If you guys would give me just a second, you can tell that I kind of have a thing about flattening my boxes. I've got neighbors who
We
are.
didn't even rehearse this. This is wonderful.
I'm really impressed.
I'm just recycled dork.
We all are.
So I'm going to go yes. I don't know, because this is like a cellophane. It's not really a plastic. I'm going to say yes, although I think I'm wrong.
You're wrong. You're right with that, and then that one's got to go in the trash. So you pull the bag out, throw that into the trash, box goes in.
And it's because this is
It's,
a
again, it's
different
that waxy
kind
type
of.
materials that are in there, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know all the properties.
Sure,
but,
sure.
But it's that type of material that has to go into the trash. So separate those out, one in recycling.
And the important
one in
detail is to separate things out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, sorry,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, here's the big quiz.
Well, I'm going to go recycle, and again, I'm feeling like I feel like you're setting me
Now,
up,
it is
Brenda.
a plastic. It is a plastic. We're talking about plastics, but these are definitely still recyclable.
They are. All right. Well,
Absolutely.
in that case,
And that's what you do.
Wasn't technically
Squeeze it
wrong.
down,
That's right.
squeeze it down. And just to keep my can clean, I always squeeze them down and put the lid back on and then dump it in there.
Oh,
just to keep
yeah,
it clean.
yeah.
But,
Good thought. Well,
just so
I'll make sure
a
that
little,
it sits upright.
if there's anything in the bottom. But I try to get it all. Try to get it
No
all
pun
out in the first
intended.
place. Okay, Derry, we got some egg carton.
Styrofoam, and I seem to remember that this is one that is listed. I want it to be recyclable, and I'm going to go maybe not. That's not an answer, is it?
It's an answer.
It's a non-answer. I'll say recyclable, fully ready to be wrong.
That's incorrect.
That is
gotta go-
incorrect.
yeah, styrofoam, again, styrofoam is recyclable, but you've got to get so much of it, it's got to be compressed down, and they don't do that at the materials recovery facilities that we have here. And so if they take styrofoam at Recycle Utah, you take it there, and they'll take it.
And a great point. The PC Recycling Center is right here. I mean, we're not even a half a mile away from it as we stand in our studios here. So it occurs to me, because I have a curbside recycling now that I didn't have when I first lived in Park City, I used to really enjoy going to the recycling center. And
yeah, it's great.
You run into people you know, and I don't know. I'm just a big dork.
What we're talking about today is just your curbside.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
they're a great resource for everyone up there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So this is a little bit different one, but we get branches and wood. We even have had deer put into the curbside recycle bin, if you can imagine. But what about limbs, branches, leaves, those type of yard waste that could go into compost, could be made into mulch, those type of things? What do you think?
I'm going to go no, just on the general assumption that plant materials, are going to be.
Yeah, that's a garbage for sure. Now, you can get your own compost pile in your garden or whatever and do it yourself. Absolutely. But as far as any type of yard waste debris, all goes into the garbage bin. But I will say this, sod and rocks and dirt shouldn't go in your garbage bin either, because our trucks can't even lift those up.
Right.
But as far as that goes. Now, this one's a tough one because there's kind of a double answer to this. So I dropped something on the ground here, but we've got envelopes, so that's just junk mail. And then we've just got loose paper.
I noticed the plastic window.
Yes, and thank you for the clue, the tip. So paper.
So we call this mixed paper. Mixed paper. What do you think?
Well, Brenda was kind enough to kind of tip me off, but I guess that and again, this is like a cellophane, right? When you tap it, it makes noise, so you know that it's not a regular plastic. I'm going to go no if it's got this cellophane in it, because we had a similar material that we said no.
Similar type of material, so we want to err on just taking the contents out of that envelope, throw the contents in there, take the envelope, throw it back in here. Now, I was on KPCW the other day, and I said that there was not a real big market for mixed paper, and that is true. But our third-party materials recovery facility, again, we're the hauler. We take it to a third-party company who processes all the recycling. They told me just yesterday, they said, you know what? We believe that the market for mixed paper is going to come back. We don't want people to not be recycling mixed paper at this point. So put it in your recycle bin. Take that paper out, mixed paper, paper that you get out of your copy machine at your house or your printer at your house, that can still go into the recycle bin, although there's not a huge market for that right now.
Interesting.
On the resale market. But they believe that market will come back.
Interesting. And to dive even just a little bit deeper of detail, when you say mixed paper, you mean the composition of the paper itself, not some plastic in a window on a paper envelope.
Yeah, they call it mixed paper because it's just kind of all different types of paper.
Gotcha.
So let's go to this then. Paper.
It's paper, but it's not. This is as much coating as it is actual paper product. And I'm going to guess, because of the mixed nature of the composition of this, that it's a no.
Okay, trick question. So you almost passed it.
Oh, tube and separate.
There's two parts to this.
Tube, recyclable.
There you go.
That would go in the recycle bin.
Yeah.
Now this one is kind of a touchy one. We still go with the motto of when in doubt, throw it out. If you can see that there's a high sheen and there's a kind of a waxy film on that, throw it in here. This paper is going to be probably right on the borderline, so I would probably toss this. But if you can tell that its paper doesn't have that high sheen on it, then it can go in here.
Then it really
We're
is
going to
a
say
paper
this
product.
high sheen type of paper, and you can kind of feel it a little bit. That would go into
Yeah,
your
you can totally feel the coating on that.
When in doubt, throw it out.
Yeah. Ribbons, things like that.
Right.
Into the garbage as well.
Tissue paper in the trash.
Yes.
Easy.
Easy.
Easy one. Lid, no.
I was
Lid,
nervous.
no.
I was like, this feels like a trick right here.
Now, if you,
Although
now,
I didn't.
You didn't squeeze it down.
I didn't squeeze it down.
We'll forgive you.
That's all right.
I'm gonna have to repeat recycle grade.
This is kind of a tough one as well, but
Well, let's see. If we break it down, see what. Well, again, this is pretty heavily printed. I mean, this is obviously cardboard, but with the my response to your heads up that it's a little bit of a trick is that there's the coating on here that this is printed on may be a material that doesn't mix well with the recycling process for paper and cardboard. So I'm going to go no.
okay, our Murph would probably say throw this one into your recycle bin. That is mostly just kind of a high sheen paint or ink. And so there's not a property on there that would prohibit that from going into your recycle bin. So we would probably say that one goes into your recycle bin.
Right on.
For sure. Okay, hard plastic. That's a coffee mug or something.
I'm going to go with when in doubt, because maybe this material is different with the different colors. You can see that maybe there's a different kind of construction. So I'm going with when in doubt, and I'm going to say I don't know about this, although it's plastic, but I'm still going to go.
So following the motto, you would throw this one away. However, I will tell you, if you turn this one over, this has a 5. This is a recycle number 5. Now, 3 through 7s right now, the market is very, very low to minimal. But again, our materials recovery facilities say we don't want to get people into the habit of not recycling. So right now, they would rather have you recycle this plastic product. They will take care of it at the other end. You know, recycle centers right now have bales and bales in their yards that they're still trying to sell, and once that market opens up or they find a buyer, they'll sell it. So they would say put this into the recycle bin right now, but to your point, when in doubt, throw it out.
And the other postscript to that is that anything that's got a symbol on it, you could take that to the recycle center and they break everything out, so you can kind of move it a little further along the process than just putting it here, but it's still better here than.
And but to Brenda's point earlier, this is what it says today. We may get something tomorrow where the market is just, hey, we can't take this information. So we do ask people to be flexible and to know that things could change.
That brings us to this.
Okay, well, I've got a couple of these here. So we've got a lot of plastic bags here, and this always comes up. What do we do with the dang plastic bags, dry cleaning bags, you know, your Walmart type of grocery store bags? And I know that there's, you know, here in Summit County, there are some stores that have gone to, they're not even selling these,
right,
they're giving these bags out.
Fresh market, yeah.
Yep. But not everybody shops at one certain place, and you may have some of these. So what do you do with these things?
Well, you've reminded me of one great tip, which is look at your materials and see if there's any indication, and sure enough, it doesn't take very long before we've got an indicator here, and of course part of this is general instructions, but a small triangular symbol, and it says,
It's a 2.
2?
Can't tell if it says hope or no, but it says 2 in the middle.
Okay.
So I can go find information on that. I'm going to go yes, because a lot of, I mean, I think everybody throws these in recycling. Is that wrong?
That is wrong, but they are certainly recycling. They are certainly recyclable. Okay?
You're doing good, though. You've done so well.
Here's the best way, Terry, here's the best way to do with those. Take all your bags,
Yes.
stick them in another bag, okay? Tie them up in a knot so they don't fly out of our truck. Because once these things are being dumped into the truck, it's really hard to keep them from blowing. Nobody wants these things all over. Yeah. Tie them in a knot and stick them into your garbage. Or, better yet, would be to take them back to a store like Smith's or some other store that sells these or hands these out. They have recycling boxes usually at the front door, and you can just put your whole thing right in there. Then it goes to a plant where it's just plastic bags, and then they can recycle them from there.
Guys, this has been fantastic. We got 20 seconds. What is the final bits of important information for you guys to share with our friends at home? 15.
I would say be flexible. Be flexible. Yeah. And you know, if you come to the Republic Services website, we have information for all over the country, so that would not be the best place to go to know the latest and greatest.
Guys, we got to take a commercial break. Thank you so much for being here. Brenda, good to see you. Reece, all the best, brother. We'll be right back.